Oh, shit. I clicked the wrong button. Okay, here we go.
Yep.
Welcome, everybody. Hello. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Swindler's Den presents the Lost Song of Phandelver. You guys got a little sneak peek of what's going to happen this episode by accident there, but we're going to be starting off with our friend Jeb. Jeb, you've been on your journey through this wasteland of it's more like a darkness covering the area with a whipping wind and sand-like texture pelting your face as you push forward, and a voice that's been speaking to you. Previously, we saw you access lost memories of this what you believe to be a dragon.
Sure. Yeah.
Today, we start off with Jeb, as he's just reached a new mote of light. And, reaching out for it, it accepts his touch, and his mind goes flashing white, and he's taken once more into another person's body. And that's where we're going to start this episode. So, very brief introduction there, but how's it going, everybody?
It's going great, Grace. Thank you.
So, today we've got some a new face, sort of, as well as all new characters. So it's going to be sort of a one-shot in this memory sequence. Here with me today is Equaisnotfunny.
Hi, it's me. Hi. We don't even know who we're playing, really, so I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Do we go over our characters or not?
I mean, we don't really know anything about him, Grace.
Well, other people do. Dr. Phage is here with us today. If you guys normally miss him, he's on our Wednesday show in Rhyme of the Frost Maiden, run by BakaZombie. Definitely go check that out and check him out over there. We got BakaZombie, as I just said, runs our Wednesday show. Doing a great job killing everybody. And
do it again.
Last but not least, we got Zelda Nerd 1988.
Hey.
So, I guess let's jump right into this game. Equa, Jeb.
Okay.
You come to the light begins to fade into color, and before you see a tree line on the horizon. As you look to in front of you and to your left and to your right, you're accompanied by three figures. One appears to be a human man clad in armor with this brown hair. You saw him in your last vision. He's the one that pledged loyalty to you. His hair beginning to gray as he's got these like kind of mutton chops that come up into this mustache. And he's kind of leading the journey. To the left of you, you see a stout man with a big black beard, a little bit tanner skin with these cool like arm tattoos that are like a raven black. He's got a giant maul resting over his shoulder. And last but not least, kind of lurking in the background, in the shadows behind you, is a figure clad in black. A human woman with long brown hair and a ponytail. With these, after a few moments of confusion, you start to kind of gain your memories of this event. This is the Platinum Platoon. And you were sent on a very important mission.
Okay. Do I know what I look like? Like what race I am and stuff?
Give me an insight check. Or investigation, either one. Insight or investigation.
That one's better. It's a 10. 10. Ooh.
You have human-like skin. This isn't a hard check, really, that much. You kind of, after a little bit of like getting adjusted to your body, your new body, you're taller than a gnome. You're taller than your dwarven friend next to you. You feel your head. You feel around your ears. You're some variation of elf.
Okay. Okay. And where am I in the group right now? You said there's a guy leading.
You're kind of like in the middle.
Okay, so I'll stop for a second and feel around, and then like, very briskly like straighten myself up and try and walk on these long legs, and I'll try and be as normal as possible. But this is a change for me, at least. Okay, so I know where we're going. Do I know names of these people?
Right now, roll me a history check.
That one.
These people's names are lost to you through this weird memory fog that you've been experiencing, or that this voice has been experiencing that's talked to you.
Cool.
Great roll.
Awesome. So I'll just sidle on up to the guy in the lead, and I will say, "Hi, my loyal subject. How you doing today, friend?"
Right. Yep. We're almost there.
Yep. You and me. I'm your leader, and you are...
Just a bit further. We should be meeting somebody up ahead. Should be able to guide us through these woods.
Good. I'll turn back to the other two, and I'll lean in close to the guy. What are their names? Real quick.
Oh, something wrong? You don't remember their names, sir?
No. Everything is great. Everything is fantastic. What's your name?
Can I do an insight check on my good friend here?
Yeah, go ahead, roll an insight check.
Ooh, a 20.
Oh, he rolls fucking fantastic with a 4 modifier.
What is so weird, for a second, you thought you heard a weird voice come out of Paladine, your friend. But then you're like, nah, that would be weird. What you heard instead was him saying something much cooler, and more mysterious. Like, I'm glad I have you by my side. There's no one I'd rather go into combat with than you, my friend.
Oh, well, that's real kind of you, sir. I don't know if I'm that good, but I'm happy to go into battle next to you as well.
I will look back at him and I'll be real confused. And I'm going to start piecing together what's going on a little bit in my head. And then I'll just say out loud, "Yeah. So how about that poop that we took in the woods earlier, right next to each other? That was great, wasn't it? Fantastic, great stuff, eh?" What does he hear, Grizz?
Oh boy. You hear Paladine say, These woods are full of orcs and goblins, loyal to Melistrix, the Destroyer. Hopefully this guide that Sir Garrick's hooked us up with will know how to avoid them.
I hope that as well. Those woods are full of all sorts of shit.
Thank you. So good.
Now I'm starting to wonder if he can actually hear me. Or if he can't. Righto to this person that we know of. I'm so familiar with.
Jeb, you hear, "Be quiet a moment. Listen to the memory."
I listen as hard as I can.
That would be a hint to start role-playing Paladine.
Yep.
And
For
then,
sure.
obviously, yeah, as we discussed.
Mhm.
So, you, after a little bit longer, you get to the edge of this tree line, and this paladin-like figure in front of you, named Sir Garrick, turns around and looks to you all. He says, "This is it. Once we step in there, there's no turning back." As you look around, also, I forgot to mention, it's like 3 a.m. It's dark. Kendamore and Riverwind are set to cause a disturbance in the morning, as soon as first light hits. So, we have to make sure we get to the eggs before then.
All right. Scrambled eggs for breakfast is always good. Always good breakfast.
Right. Luckily, I know someone from around these parts. And, he makes a whistle that is faint. To us, it'd be like a dog whistle, I guess. And before long, you hear a rustling in the trees above, as a elven woman kind of slides down the tree. This elven woman is clad in this beautiful dragon scale armor that's like a bleach white that has been like painted with this gold trim. And after a second, you hear another scurrying, and you see a green lizard-like creature start to follow down the tree as it hops onto her shoulder.
You've been practicing the whistle. Well done, Raiden.
Thank you. Took a long, lot of work. Glad to see you. Still, you can still hear it in your old age.
Come now, Raiden. I'm still young.
And she does look young. But of course, we all know elves. So, you know why I'm here?
Message was brief, but I understood the gist of it, especially when they are involved.
Mm-hmm. Right. I hate to ask a favor like this of you, but we're on a time crunch, and you're one of the best warriors I know. Who's your friend?
Scales. a very young green dragon that I came across some years ago. Its creator fell to Malastrix, unfortunately.
Right. No offense, is it? It's friendly.
He's feisty.
It kind of like nibbles on your ear.
He is but a babe in his years, but I promise he means no harm. Right, Scales?
And anyone who hears speaks Draconic would hear. Yes.
She'll give him a little pat on the head. And she'll look around. And who are your companions, Raiden?
Oh, yes, where are my manners? This here's pal. Kind of pats you, Jeb, on the back and hits him forward. This is Hafnor. And
Pleasure.
this is Kalia. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay. God, you have to have the hardest character names.
That's what I do.
I was just telling the lot about the orcs and goblins have been working with Malastrix. It's a way to keep the forest intact.
It is a current treaty that they hold, yes. By the way, you all may call me Shavanri.
As you guys would know, this area is highly devastated with, usually the surrounding area's got, like, vegetation mist, like, that's been burnt up and destroyed. All surrounding it, there's even, like, new lava flows and cracks in the earth in this area, which is the domain of Malastrix. But this specific forest has been untouched. For the most part. So, we have to be in the Blood Watch by sunrise. Do you know the way?
I do. Come with me.
And with that, you all enter the tree line. Didn't expect it to be this intense. Stepping in here, the ground is much more damp than the surrounding area that was pretty dry, bare bones. Or bare bones. What the? It's, yeah, pretty damp ground in here, and you further in you start to get a, like, swampy stench, kind of like eggs. So it's almost like this place has been untouched, like they said. Go ahead and, Shavanri, give me a survival check as you navigate around these woods. You do know that there is, relatively, as you've lived here for a while, where the orcs and goblins live. So, if you're trying to avoid them, that would be the best.
Yes, because the less chatting with them, the better.
Okay.
So would this area be considered forest or swamp?
This area would be swampy.
Swamp? Okay. Because, yeah, I have...
It's really like a combination of the two. It's like...
Okay. Perfect. So, yeah, 15.
Cool. So, you travel for maybe a half hour, and you're starting to get to the area, Shivani, that you know that there is. It's almost impossible to avoid some form of orc presence. So you'll have to be stealthy through this bit.
She will let the group know there are orcs up ahead. It is best that we do use to the best of our ability to be quiet moving about them.
Right? Just like in my full plate armor. I'll do my best, miss.
She'll give a small smile and she'll look over and she'll kind of tap her little Drake friend on her shoulder and just tell him, hush, in Draconic.
So, everybody roll me stealth checks. We'll do a group stealth check.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm also wearing heavy armor, so I'm at disadvantage too. Which is swell. Eight.
The rolls balance out pretty well. You did get a nat 1 though for a 0, so this is going to be interesting. You're scurrying through this area, and you do start to hear this clashing and some grunts. Some from smaller creatures, some from very large sounding creatures. Like, ooh, oh, as you peer through the bushes, you see like a pit. It's not so much a pit, but like a circle of these two large beasts, or two large fat men, I guess, but not men. One's an ogre, and one seems to have two heads. Surrounded by orcs and goblins, and they're all just fighting each other. As you look, actually, roll my perception check, Shivani, as you're looking through this bush here.
Okie dokie. Perception. 28.
Bam.
Okay. Eyes like a hawk. You cut through this darkness, and you see. I mean, you're an elf. You have dark vision. You see through, and you see up on this hill. You kind of knew where to look, anyways, because you've explored most of this forest. There is a stone chair, like a throne, and there appears to be an orc draped in like these differing clothes than the other orcs. He seems to be a sort of leader with like this skull headdress and stuff. And he's overseeing, and you see a weird sight you've not seen in these woods before. It's like a gnome with these glowing red eyes that seems to be standing by the side of this orc.
She'll frown at that, because gnomes don't necessarily come into the woods very often, do they?
No. Not these woods.
Mm-hmm. The gnome does he look like he's in distress?
He does not appear to be in distress. He seems to be overseeing the fighting. As you like take your head out of the bush and look back at your group, you notice Hafnar has stepped the wrong direction and is heading directly toward this fighting.
Oh dear.
3.
Alright. She will go and see if she could dash over to him and grab him, pull him back, and hopefully that the orc and goblins don't notice.
Okay. Hafnar, give me one more stealth check. A normal roll.
6.
For some reason, you get slightly spooked. And Siobhanri, you kind of look back over because he making this noise. You're afraid some attention might have been drawn. The creatures that were battling before continue to battle, but you watch the chieftain kind of start to sit up and look your direction. What do you guys do?
This was going to be a plan. Okay, how far away is the chief from me?
Okay, that's a good question. I can actually... Let me double check this map is functional. Okay. Okay, so... Oh my god. I just moved the map.
He's on the wrong layer.
I'm on the wrong layer, I am.
That's
It
smelly,
is the
man.
worst. Alright, here we go. So, you guys can see them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's what the layout kind of looks like. So you're about, so Hafnar, you would actually be like right up here with Siobhanri. So you're 75 feet.
Ah, dang it. That's too far away for what I wanted to do. Let me look at some of the things I have.
While he looks, can Kalia just like jump up into a tree to try and get some cover?
Absolutely. Yeah. You scurry up a tree, you know, maybe Naruto style. Don't know if you're into that, but
Never seen it. Zombieland Saga style, maybe?
maybe. She gets hit by a bus and then flings up into the tree.
What a strange contraption.
The orc chieftain looks to the gnome, almost like for confirmation that what he heard is out there.
Can I... try to make a sound like I'm just some little critter that's scurrying by? Like maybe I'm just a big squirrel that made some noise?
Okay.
Perhaps like a deception check or something of that nature?
Oh man. I would normally do performance, but I'll allow deception.
Great. I got advantage on that.
17. Okay. Yeah, so you what does this sound like? What do you do to deceive?
I think this is how it's gonna work out. Because I'm real short anyways. Just like only heard me, hasn't seen me. Siobhanri is very stealthy, not seen at all. So I just like after my little just like like some sort of animal deer noise, and then as part of that, if you'll allow it, I'll flick out the whip that I have, and then like 5 feet in front of me, just like snap another twig so it sounds like it's moving on.
Okay, yeah. That's exactly what you do. The gnome kind of looks back to the orc chieftain in like a reassuring way and is like, sit down, you know? It's all right. What you do see is the two drakes. They're like two green lizard beasts that are these ones are probably, what are the size of these? They're like, you know, large, like kimono dragon kind of size, maybe a little bigger. They kind of get to alert position, but aren't doing anything just yet. But they're definitely on edge. Do you guys continue to try and skirt around?
I want to. I still may be able to do something. Shit, no, I'm still too far away. Never mind. I'm too far away to do anything cool.
Yeah, I think we try in
Which-
stealth away.
Which direction did we put or did you put the deer noise in? Where did he scurry off to?
Somewhere like in this. Oh, somewhere over in this direction.
Okay, are we skirting left or right to get around this?
So you're trying to get this, like this direction.
Oh, then I would have put it over here.
I got you. Yeah, that's fine.
I wasn't sure what
Okay.
direction we were.
That's fair.
We double check the wording on this. It's 30 feet away. Oh, there's no range on this thing. Okay, never mind. I can't do it.
Right.
Yeah, we'll just have to go for it. Just stealth it.
Right. Keep going. You guys continue to tiptoe your way through this area. Roll me one more set of stealth checks.
Oh no.
Ooh!
Wow.
Ooh.
Crazy.
Disadvantage.
I don't know. I guess none of you rolling that one. I was looking at the 5, but that's... You don't have
No,
disadvantage.
8 is still bad.
So, what happens is you all continue to scurry through these woods. You watch as the ogre brings a giant club down on a goblin. Oh! It splatters. You just hear the continuing grunting of forces. But as you've made a pretty clear way into the woods away from this, you do see one of the drakes begin to scurry off of its rock and follow into the woods. So I'll put you guys just kind of like over more, but you're further away than this. So this is what we'll do. This one here.
What do I know about the drakes?
Roll me a nature or arcana check.
That is much better. Damn.
Drakes are often created by dragons to be minions of dragons, or often like a sorcerer or wizard will, if in good graces of a dragon, ask for one to be created on its behalf. They kind of function like dogs.
Okay. Do we also know where the place that we're going to is?
Chivalry does. You guys all know it to be called the Blood Watch. It's a big tower made of obsidian, constructed by Malastrix herself. So you're heading that general direction toward the tower.
And that's we're going north to that, right?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
northwest.
Okay. Here's what I'll do then. Since I see it coming towards us, I will spend a sorcery point to subtle spell message towards it. Give me Pal's voice again, Grizz. Do it again.
Oh, I wasn't doing a voice for Pal.
What do you mean you weren't doing a voice?
You
for
do a
Pal?
voice, and that's the voice. I was just
Okay.
repeating in, normal voice.
In memory.
Okay, give me some notes here. Give me 3 characteristics. Go.
Jesus.
Jesus.
Walks on
okay.
water.
Mel Gibson. Yep.
Mel Gibson,
Yeah.
there you go.
I don't know what Mel Gibson sounds like. I will say to it in my best impression of Malistrix. I'll say, there are intruders on the western side of the tower. Go there and sniff them out.
Okay, roll me deception. Or performance, either one. Sorry. Too late.
They're the same. Same roll
Are they?
for both.
Okay.
Same mod. Yep.
I'm gonna roll to see how capable this thing is. Okay. It does not believe you, and it continues to chase. Starting to gain on you guys. This bugger seems to be fairly fast, as its legs are almost built for this terrain. It's like scurrying up tree logs or like across logs that have fallen over these like little small ponds of water, pools of water, and it's catching up. You guys are now away from the rest of the battle area.
Kalia will just say, "Get ready to jump on it," and she'll chuck her shuriken at it.
Okay, roll me shuriken attack, and with that'll be like the surprise round, and we'll go into initiative. I don't think we're gonna need it, but
okay, that works for me if it's a surprise round.
Oops.
It's a 19, and because it's a surprise, it's a crit. Because of the assassinate.
Okay.
So do you just want me to roll again or double what's there?
It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you just click on the word again, shuriken +1, and just roll the damage again.
Well, I just gotta do it like this.
Cool.
So,
All right.
total of 18, 28, 30, 40, 63 points of damage.
So
Its head explodes.
you all watch Kalia pull out the shuriken. It almost like just kind of magically appears into her hand, and it's like a large shuriken. And she tosses it the direction of the Drake, and with one hit, it just flat out kills this thing. The shuriken dissipates and reappears back in Kalia's hand.
Never mind, I got it.
It's badass! That's very nice. Very impressive. Well done.
I like that voice. That's a good one.
Thank you.
Are there any larger animals nearby that would be kind of a predator towards these critters?
Toward drakes?
Yeah. Like anything that could be like a wolverine or an angry badger?
I'm trying to think on that one. Roll me a nature check.
Right. 21.
These things are pretty apex, but something like an owl bear could probably scare one of these things off.
Alright. I don't suppose I can use thaumaturgy to make footprints, could I?
Thaumaturgy only sounds and visual effects, or does it? Or hold on.
I'm pretty sure it's just audio and visual.
Cause flame flicker. Harmless tremors. You can cause harmless tremors, so it seemed like a big owl bear was charging towards something.
You can create an instantaneous sound that originates from a point that you see within range. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't think you can do anything too visual with this. It's mostly sounds.
Does she know what a attacking owl bear sounds like?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, she'll cast the thaumaturgy to make it sound as if a attacking owl bear was nearby in case someone comes to investigate.
Clever. All right. So, Shivanri calls out this loud owlbear growl, and you continue to scurry deeper into the woods, avoiding this situation. Once you're clear enough out, Sir Garrick is going to look to you and say, "What was that gnome doing there?"
I don't know. I have never seen a gnome wander into the woods this far and be with the orcs and goblins, nor have I seen a gnome with red eyes. It is troubling.
Perhaps some sort of possession.
Perhaps, but a matter to look into for later. We need to get to our destination.
Right. Okay. And you travel for another hour through these woods. This is a pretty big area. Before Shivanri, you lead them to the area that you think is the best way to enter this this Blood Watch, Obsidian Tower. You've seen orcs and these little dragon-like men called kobolds use these tunnels under the tower. It's like a cave system. And as you all approach this cave entrance, one of the first things you notice is you're hit with a just really hot air being forced out of this cave's opening. Right, into the frying pan then.
At least no one can say that they're cold.
So, before we enter, does everyone remember the plan? We can go over it once more.
Maybe
That
once
is-
more.
Jeb is saying, bloody plan?
Right, so, the Kendas, along with the human dwarf armies, are going to march from Kendamore. At sunrise, they're going to make a disturbance in Malastrix's territory, hopefully driving her out of her lair. In that time, we should be through these tunnels in the tower, looking for the eggs to destroy. Kalia, you're gifted in sneaking. I believe it would be best if you were to focus on the eggs when we find them.
Can do.
If Malastrix is to return, that's where Pal comes in. I don't know what kind of forces we'll be facing in there. So be on the lookout, stay on guard. Right.
And platoon going dark. He just
Any
puts the visor
questions?
over his helmet. No.
Right. And he begins to go into the cave. You guys are just bearing the brunt of this heat, and you start to notice the temperature rising the deeper you get. Everybody make Constitution saves as you
Ooh,
trek
boy.
through this extreme heat. You feel the sweat pouring out your body. Kalia, you've never really entered these caves too deep. You're further in than you've been before. And you've sweat out all the water you were retaining. And you reach for your water skin to find it's empty. Your throat's parched, and you're finding it hard to go on. You do suffer 1 level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, hold on. Oh my god. Because you're within 10 feet of... What's his name? I think you get a big bonus to that.
Oh, yeah. Do I get the...
It's saving throws. It's a con save,
It's
right?
plus whatever the charisma modifier is to saving throws.
So it's a +4, I want to say? +4, yeah.
Gets me to 10. Is that enough?
I didn't even see what you rolled. Oh, I was...
6.
Dude, I said Shivanri. I meant to say Kalia. Did I say Shivanri?
Oh, you said Kalia.
Okay,
You said
cool.
It's a Kalia.
Cool. So you are at a 10?
Yeah, with
no,
a plus 4.
You still suffer.
Heck.
Sorry.
Mm.
Cool. So, as you wind through these tunnels, Hafnar, roll me a history check with advantage. Nice. You are able to determine that this isn't a natural tunnel. These shouldn't really be here. Until you sort of think about it, and your experience with masonry and rocks and all sorts of geological research. I don't know. You realize that these are lava flows.
We should be real careful where we're looking. These tunnels aren't dug by people or animals. These are lava flows, so that could happen any old time. Just be aware of that. Real bad. Lava's real hot.
Right. Good
Please
eye.
don't say.
Is there much lava in this area? Like,
You
is there a
don't
volcano in this area?
You do not see any lava yet. But as you get deeper into this tunnel, it is getting hotter. You come to a split in the tunnel. You go left or right. How do you guys want to decide which tunnel to take?
If we're looking for the eggs, and if this is, I'm assuming, what's her face is a red dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know enough that the eggs would probably be in the hotter? Oh, thank you, Malstrix. That the hotter place would probably be the better place for the eggs.
Roll me a Arcana check.
Okay, not bad.
And
You could assume that her lair is probably going to be closer to the heat. So the hotter, the better, yeah.
And also, Shavani is going to ask her Drake which way smells of a stronger alpha.
Question. I'm going to now roll for it. Oh, wow. You see Scales hops off of your shoulder. Any of you who are pretty perceptive, this green drake has wings, but you haven't seen it use them really yet, and it looks very awkward jumping off of Siobhanri's shoulder. But as it lands on the ground, it inhales big before letting out almost a cough because the heat is so immense. And those who can speak Draconic again, you hear, "Big dragon, this way."
We should know if we're getting closer if it keeps getting hotter. Most likely she has her eggs right where it's hottest.
Did Scales point down in the same path as he pointed out?
Yeah, you guys kind of like reach your hands like into one tunnel, into the other tunnel, and you're kind of like judging. And yeah, you'd say, yeah. Seems to match.
Alright. Scales is in agreement. Shivrani will just reach down and pick him up so that he doesn't have to climb back up since it is pretty hot and he don't want him burning his feet on the scales.
As we go, I'll talk to the little dragon. Fuck it. I'll lean over and I will say to it in Draconic. I'll say, "Excuse me, friend. Scales was your name?"
No. Yes.
Very curious. If you don't mind my prodding, why don't you use your wings?
He like kind of awkwardly tries to flap them, and they look very pathetic. They kind of like.
Shivrani just looks amused.
I don't know. No teach. Why you not use wings?
I don't have wings.
Right. Okay.
Right. I'll just keep going.
Shivrani will look over at Paladin and just kind of give a soft smile. He recently developed his wings.
I see.
He doesn't have the strength yet.
You
But he will learn.
embarrass.
Well, there's no
What do you
need.
say?
You embarrass.
It's like, but you're so sweet. She'll give him a cuddle.
Does the head scratch on yours?
Everyone grows into themselves in time. He must be very young. How old?
He's only 15. He knows his given name, but cannot yet pronounce it. So I just call him Scales for now.
I see. Well, he has plenty of time to grow.
Yes, I hope he'll even outlive me.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't want to.
Aw. She pulls out a little piece of meat and holds it out to him.
Almost expecting that would be rewarded. Bites onto the piece. As you continue the journey down the hot tunnel, eventually leading you to an opened cavern where the heat is most intense. You know what? Roll me another con check. Con saving throw.
Damn it.
Anything's relentless.
+4 to
Oh.
this.
That's
Yes, +4 for anybody because you're all near.
Yes,
Garrix.
please. So 13.
we all got 23 apart from Shivani.
Shivani, this is the hottest area, and you begin to also suffer a point of exhaustion from these extremely high temps. As you peer into this cavern, it is lit up due to this bubbling happening below you. You look, and there is a lava flow going straight down the middle of this cavern. Along the walls is jutting out of this. Now, it was kind of hard to tell, but as you've gotten deeper, it started to become more obsidian-like, covering the walls. And there's also these gems or crystals protruding from the walls. You peer ahead, and you can make out the figure through this like hazy heat wave. You can see figures moving about down the tunnel. They appear to be the kobolds. And you hear the faint tick, 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 tick sounds. Hafnar, I would say probably just by default, you would know that this is the sound of mining. This is...
Yeah. Can I, because I don't know how lit up it is. I have dark vision out to 120 feet. Can I do a perception check just to see, like, roughly how many there are?
Absolutely.
Ooh, only an 11.
Okay. That haze is real thick. All you can see right now is one. And that's the closest one to you. It's just across this lava flow from you, about, let's see, about 50 feet across. You can also see that you guys are nearing this sort of narrow stone bridge. It's like an arch that the lava has gone through, but it's like a bridge that would bring you from your side of the cavern to that kobold side of the cavern. Or you can, continue down this path.
Oh, so it continues along on our side, along the lava flow?
Here, this is what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and throw on a quick... what the heck's it called? I'm on the wrong sheet. Not sheet. For some reason, I'm struggling to find the Fog of War. Here it is. I'm going to add a Fog of War so that you guys can't see past what I've described. But that way you guys can visualize it.
The lava doesn't show anything past where we're looking, right?
It would, but it is kind of hazy. You guys can roll perception checks to see. It's just that Hafnar did not roll super well. So if you guys individually want to kind of see ahead, just roll me perception checks.
I should do that.
Why is this not revealing?
Oh ja, sehr gut.
There.
Sehr gut.
Is he not as good?
Reveal areas. Reveal. It's fighting me, guys. All right, this was a mistake. I shouldn't have added the Fog of War. I don't know how to get rid of it now.
You gotta hit reveal area and then scroll across the whole thing.
Yeah, the reveal
It's
area
real
is
difficult.
under the.
I have
what's
it. I have it equipped, or like equipped. I guess is the right word, but it's not.
Sometimes
revealing
it doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work.
So what I'm
You
gonna
can
do is just get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Please pardon the chaos of Roll20.
You guys know this is the first D&D character that I've ever played that has an actual English accent. Do you know that?
Awesome. I love it.
It's true.
Cute.
Oh my gosh.
That's because it says that there isn't
Fog of War.
Fog of War, but there is, so it's a little confusing. Technical difficulties. I'm gonna refresh the page to
Quick,
see if that does it.
But put all the tokens on the GM layer and then just whack us in. That's the cheat that I use all the time.
Wait, what?
Put all of the enemy tokens on the GM layer and just whack us in anyway. That's my cheat.
Ah, that is clever. I'll do that. Okay, that's actually a much better idea. I'm just gonna do that. Ooh. Sorry, y'all. Roll20 is being a butt.
But
It happens, bro. It happens.
I think that's everything. Okay. Let me know if you guys can see anything at all, or if the fog of war is messing up everything.
it's dark.
It
Why is
is dark.
It's dark like
It's
that, but
dark.
why?
I kind of like it.
It looks cool, but I've never
Because
experienced
the light
this
turned
before.
off.
It's cool as shit.
Is the
'Cause it's so
opacity not
smoky.
all the way up or something?
You guys see now?
Didn't really.
Still
change.
grayscale.
All right. Go ahead.
Where are we going ahead?
Yeah, so
I just-
where
it sounded
are
like-
we?
I thought that Nyssa was just saying something in character, but I realized
I was
she
just
wasn't.
saying it was still grayscale.
Oh boy. So, so what was the question that we were on?
So we are in a place and we have an option to go left or right, basically, right?
No, you did that. You went down the left path, down to this,
Right.
this.
And Hafnar tried to look through the fog because he could hear picking, the sound of mining, and then he couldn't really see anything. And then you allowed the rest of us to roll perception checks to see if we could see anything.
Right.
Equal rolled a 17. I rolled a 27.
Okay. So we're gonna have to do this with
Sharp rolled like butt.
Like
So,
usual,
uh,
except for when I'm
let's see.
attacking.
Yeah, you had a good insta kill there.
Paladine and Chivalry. Through this haze, you can see that there are some orcs kind of patrolling the area down the left-hand path. Past that, even more kobolds are mining these crystals out of the cavern walls. You can also make out, like in the woods, you saw those big ogres. You can see a similar shape. Chivalry, you would really get a good sight of this. This bigger mass is like pulling something out of a satchel and tossing it into the lava. And as it tosses this thing into the lava, you see like its arm is like bigger than the rest of its body, and it's got like a red scaly skin to it.
It's Hellboy.
I was thinking the same thing.
Same. Our Shivani will whisper as quietly as she can to the group, saying, "There is a being that is. Their arm is rather large, and they're putting things into lava." From the way that the scaly arm is and the size of the person, could it possibly be a dragonborn? Or are they different?
Roll me a intelligence check.
And that's with disadvantage because I'm exhausted. Intelligence. Oh, it's just straight up intelligence. Oh, 13.
You haven't really come across Dragonborn. Many dragon. Actually, that's not true. You've lived 300.
I'm old.
You don't
But
think
still
this
young.
is a Dragonborn? If it is one, it's a very malformed one.
It's like, I don't believe it's a dragonborn, but there is very different.
So our options are either to tackle the dragon kind or walk alongside orcs, right?
Correct. But also on that orc side, you do see more kobolds mining, as well as it like the land almost loops around, and at the like a peninsula is that big guy. But the right hand side just has one kobold mining, in what appears to be another tunnel.
It would be possible to stealth along and drop them in the lake, if we so decided.
I don't know about being stealthy about it, but we can certainly drop them in the lake. Not kind of jingly jangly.
Right. I assume if they hear, then they'll all come running, so let's try and get as far along as we possibly can. I look towards Captain Price. Thoughts?
Garrick. Riding Garrick's.
Right, good plan. Alright, maybe we send Rogue first, sneak over, on scene, throw him in.
So which side are you sending her up? The one with one person or all of them?
The one person.
With one.
So
Okay.
there's like a kind of thin stone archway that you're able to scurry across, rolling a acrobatics as you go across. It's a very easy trick.
Especially for you.
Yeah. You like with ease, perfect balance, zoom across. Roll me a stealth check as you try to sneak up behind this kobold, chipping away. Tink,
17.
Tink, tink. Stupid
Because I have
job.
disadvantage.
Oh, why do you have disadvantage?
Because I'm
Exhaustion.
exhausted.
You are exhausted, right? So,
You made me exhausted.
you sneak right up behind this thing.
I'll give him a little dunk in the river.
Okay, roll me an athletics check.
Oh, that was not the choice to do.
With advantage.
Still,
Which is a straight roll.
Okay. You do have an assassinate feature. I mean, would you have?
Yeah, if I didn't know it was going to be athletics, but I'd already said, so I didn't know if I could take it back. Because the assassinate is for when I actually attack.
Right. Okay. Well, if you go to throw this thing in, you check
This is a
what
good
the
plan.
kobold stats are. Yeah, I said athletics, right?
Yep.
Believe it or not, roll off. Do one more. You rolled a 6 and it's
way.
-2.
Nice.
Oh my god.
That's right. Kobolds are not strong.
So you
Maybe I'll do the same.
you sneak up behind this kobold, and you go to like trip and toss it in, and it just so happened to like be swinging back with its pickaxe and it hits you in the head, and it like and like turns around and sees you, like ah, and starts to like run off, down the way, down the
Can I
tunnel.
chuck my shuriken at it?
Sure. Chuck your shuriken.
No assassinate feature for you.
Well, it hasn't attacked yet, right? Let me read the assassinate.
I'm still trying to figure out this stupid.
That hasn't taken a turn in combat. I guess technically it's running was its turn.
Yeah, I guess it technically would have taken the disengage action, but you can still.
I mean,
fire a shot at it.
I'll add sharpshooter to it though. For a. Does it add? What's
The -5 is
Okay,
the
so it's-
sharpshooter.
so it's 13.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to figure out if it added it in or if it's saying to do it yourself, idiot, and that's what it's doing. So 13.
13. Check if there's a difference between bolts. It just hits.
So it does 19 damage.
Okay. Yeah. So you try to throw this thing into the lava, completely fuck up. As it scurries off, you're like, "Ah, shit! Should have done this from the beginning." You take out your shuriken, you throw it. It flies down and square hits it in the back as it falls over. Halfway down the tunnel. Roll me a perception check.
8.
Okay, yeah, you don't hear anything. All's clear.
Throw it in the lava now.
She'll look back to everybody.
Yeah, I would assume then we would start, keeping some distance, probably like 20, 30 feet between us and her, moving down the tunnel.
Smart. Once you all get to this area, you would see that they're... I'm going to bring you guys all over to my really quick makeshift switchover. Doesn't have any tokens on it or anything, but at least now you can see it. Because I spent so long.
Wunderbar.
Ooh, lava.
Very
It looks
nice.
pretty, Grizz.
It's a very nice map.
Okay, so you guys are currently over here.
Okay.
You just shot the kobold, like, down here. So, as you're over here, you can see this minecart and what he was mining. It's these, like, light blue gems that are here and there in the walls. You can also make out a cliff face. You could scurry across, or not scurry, you could carefully shimmy across is the word I'm looking for. That would get you up to this area where that's the peninsula the big dude's on. Or you can continue up this tunnel.
But how thick is the fog? Over the lava
Haze.
pit. It is hazed?
Yeah. There's a good amount of like smoke and haze filling the air in this area. You think that if you're trying to figure out whether you think that you would be seen crossing this, there's a good chance that you would be obscured at least some.
In the perception checks before, did we see another exit on the other side of this lava flow?
I think because of the angle. You might not have... You guys were about here, I had you. That's a very good question. I would say probably not. If you guys want to give me like insight checks maybe or something.
Sure.
It's a 6. 24.
23 for me because I have
17.
advantage.
So those of you who rolled those good perceptions before and just rolled good insights, combine those. You saw the kobolds, and some of them were wheeling these mine carts. They were wheeling them toward the direction of the big dude at the peninsula, so you could theorize that they're bringing them somewhere, like storage or wherever the heck you bring precious gems.
Like a dragon's hoard?
Potentially.
Yeah.
Shavanri is going to look towards Sir Garrick's and go, what do you think? Take out the big guy? Or keep going up this tunnel?
Well, I do believe in saving our resources for later. Why, did you see something up there?
Well, it seems that these kobolds, they're called, I believe. They're taking something towards them and possibly even behind.
Right, could be a Hoarde, perhaps. Going Orlin by mistake. Bravo 6. Perhaps we check out, down this tunnel for now. And then, if it doesn't lead nowhere, we'll turn back.
Very well.
There is something about this that isn't sitting right. Dragons being greedy creatures, why would they throw anything into lava to destroy it?
Right. Talking about the big fellow.
Yes.
Was it something or someone? Or the remains of someone?
Impossible to tell.
Could
There will be no evidence there anyway.
could something be living in the lava? Little lava fish that it's feeding?
Have I ever heard of a lava fish?
I'm gonna go ahead and say probably not, but roll me a nature arcana nature check. Roll me a nature check. One of those weird things.
I hope I roll really low on this one. 21.
You can't think of a lava fish. There is like things that could live in lava. There's
Red dragons.
yeah, maybe sometimes dragons. I don't know if dragons chill down there, to be honest with you. But you like fire elementals maybe, or something like that.
Salamanders.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure about the fish, but things do live under there. It is possible. Well, we should go down this road first.
Right.
As we go past this mine car full of the fun gems, I'm just gonna scoop up a handful of them, put them into a pouch.
Okay, yeah, totally. Nice.
That triggers my justice sonar that Paladin definitely has.
It's not wrong to steal from a dragon.
No, I don't think it is, right? Right? Equa's morals are questionable and it's showing off.
I don't know. Is it? So you can continue down this tunnel. Hafnar, give me I keep doing that. Give me a history check.
Okay. Not bad at them. Ooh, only an 8 though.
This is advantage because it's regarding stone.
Okay, 24.
About 30 feet into this tunnel, it clicks in your brain again. This is a lava flow. This is another lava definitely created this section. Go ahead. I guess you guys. With that information, roll me a perception check.
Okay, lava's slow moving.
16.
You do hear more clanging up ahead.
And it sounds like more mining.
It does sound like more mining. Tink, tink, tink.
Well, there is some more mining going up ahead, but we are in another lava flow tube. We should, again, be on the lookout for that lava. Real hot. I know we've discussed it, but it bears repeating. I don't know
It
if
is indeed good advice.
certainly people up ahead, I don't know what that room's going to look like versus the room that we just came from.
All right, let's be sneaky. Platinum platoon going dark.
Oh, you said it.
Actually, that's a good point, Jeb. You would probably be hearing like, "What do you see?"
It's kind of weird. They're in like a big lava dungeon thing, and there's a bunch of you, and there's a bunch
me.
of rocks. No, not a bunch of you. Like a bunch of you and your friends. You seem tight, pretty tight with your buddies there, and you're going to get some dragon eggs, and that you think this is where they're being held, maybe.
Dragon eggs.
Yeah.
What would I want with dragon eggs?
Make an omelet? I don't know.
All right.
I'm sorry, is that a cannibal joke? Did I just say you're a cannibal? I didn't mean that you're a cannibal or anything. I wasn't thinking. We'll move past it. Doesn't matter. Sorry.
So, roll me the stealth checks. A lot of rolls. Nice. That's what happens when you don't take the immediate combat route.
20.
Ooh, 10.
At disadvantage. Look at me.
Those are pretty solid overall.
Is it still with that advantage, the influence of the +4, or no?
No, that's only saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So
It's like volley does +1, but it's a +4 for this.
Ah,
you start to get a little closer to the clanging, and you start to hear not just a kobold's voice, the gruff, kind of chirpy almost voices of a kobold, but you also hear a heavier orcish voice as you kind of peer around the corner. You see the orc kind of push the kobold's face into the stone. Ow! Hurt! Sharp rock!
I mean, I'll make eyes with Kalya and be like,
is the orc saying anything?
The orc is saying something in orcish, akin to
I understand orc.
Something like, few more days of this shit and I'll finally be back. I'll be accepted into the Blood Watchtower and into her ranks.
He wants me to kill him. I'll chuck shuriken.
At which one?
The orc stomping the kobold into the ground. I think it's a little too much of a kick in the head to hit the one that's been stood on.
Okay.
Alright, so I get sneak attack for this, and it's advantage, and if I hit, I crit. Ooh, it's a 10. Why did I roll so bad?
Dude, I didn't even think that was possible.
Yep. I mean, it's me.
You throw this shuriken, and it goes wide, hitting a loose rock on the wall that you didn't see before, sitting behind this orc. You start to hear some faint crumbling. I want everybody to roll initiative.
I know what's gonna happen.
Second.
It wasn't a nat 1.
I understand. Let me actually get this up. There it is. Yeah, unfortunately, I forgot to keep. So we'll just keep this in order because this is gonna be quick, anyways. All right, so I'm gonna roll a d20.
Point 100th of it off there. Crazy.
And then let me roll for the orc.
Yeah.
So, the first thing so you hit this rock behind the orc, and you start to see the rocks crumble. It appears these rocks were kind of more set up to be a trap. Oops. As the rocks start to crumble, you start to see this lava drip out of this wall. The kobold is the first to react.
Son of a bitch.
It sees what just happened. It looks behind it, sees the lava, and it starts to scurry from underneath the orc's boot, clawing its way, and starts to run toward you guys. It dashes. I think it can try to make it past you. Do you attack it as it tries to go by?
Absolutely. Just like a baseball swing this kobold's head as it's running past me.
Okay, go for it.
I feel bad for him. He ran from his abuser into us. And then just, that's it. You know?
Yeah. Is it just the 10 or is that 11 part of it? I'm sorry.
I believe it's just the 10. I don't know why the 11 popped up.
2d6.
Yeah, because the 2d6 plus 4 is my damage. I don't know why the 11 is rolling
Additional
as well.
2d6 for being vicious? What does vicious do?
Oh, vicious.
Oh,
right. So if you
it's-
roll a crit, you get that like additional damage or something. Like
Yeah. There, I just had 2 damages on here, which is incorrect.
I think that is how it works. That's just the vicious damage, which would only apply to crits. It's like
Yeah,
an
the
additional
vicious damage is flat 7 extra. I looked at that before.
Okay. So you take your maul, wind up, and as this kobold comes your way, doo, like into the chest, it makes like just a caving noise. And kobold flies back and onto the floor with a thud. Dead.
Poor guy.
Siobhan, you see the lava. It's slow at right now. Not all the rock is crumbled, but you're thinking maybe the weight of the lava or something is starting to knock more rocks over. And right now the lava is moving slowly, but any second now it could give way, and a rush could be coming down this tunnel. You see ahead of you. What's the distance on this? 35 feet ahead of you and to the left. That is where the tunnel continues. You could try to go that way. Or you can run backward or do whatever you want. Yeah.
Which way is this pathway? Which way is it inclined? Would it flow towards us or away from us?
It would be flowing toward you.
Okay, it's like we better decide quickly of what we want to do. And she will take out her longbow and she will. Oh wait, did the orcs? The orc is still there, right?
Yeah, the orc has like lifted his boot up, like looked around and then back toward you guys, and he's getting ready to do his thing.
All right, she will lift up her longbow, and you said that they're 35 feet away, right?
Yeah.
All right, she will fire an arrow at the orc.
Okay, roll the attack.
10.
He's gonna miss, I believe. We'll check.
Pretty
Not
sure it
rolling
does.
well tonight,
Yeah,
are we?
that misses. The arrow, the arrow hits another rock as the lava begins to flow more. It is now. Unless you have more to do. Never mind. Sorry, you have movement.
She is going to kind of. All right. How far ahead is that other tunnel ahead of us again?
35 feet to go to the left. Out of the flow of the lava, you would assume.
Yeah, she will move forward with her full 50 speed to get in there.
Okay. The orc will take an attack of opportunity as you pass. 5. So 16?
Hits.
Okay. Cool. For 9 slashing.
All right.
Up next, if you're done, is...
Yep.
Wow, did you guys get the same initiative? No, yours is slightly better. Kalia.
So the orc still hasn't gone yet, so I still get assassinate.
Right. Okay.
So I will shuriken for 25 to hit, so I crit. So that's 19 plus 27, 48 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah. Again, just this impressive rogue warrior on your team throws her shuriken, this time connecting, instantly killing this orc. As the shuriken cuts straight through, dissipates, and reappears back in her hand. Kalia, what do you want to do with the rest of your turn?
Go use my movement to go down to the tunnel, and then cunning action to dash out further down the tunnel.
Okay.
For
So
60
yeah,
feet.
that'll clear you. Next is Paladine.
So, Kalia just ran straight ahead past the lava. Right.
Down the tunnel where
The lava has not reached yet.
So yeah, toward the lava flow, but to the left.
Okay, so and there are no more enemies here, so I guess I'll just move after her.
Okay, so you dash?
Yeah.
Cool. I can assume Hafnar dashes as well.
Yeah, just like little feet.
Luckily, I rolled really shitty. I had I rolled for the lava flow when it was just gonna erupt and go down. I rolled a 4.
Oh.
So you guys are all fine. We'll say as Sir Garrick, he's the leader, and he he's kind of leading from the back. Right as he skirts around, you watch the lava just rush past and spill out back into that cavern flow. Oh, shit.
Told ya, there's lava. None of us got caught in it. It's very good.
Good job, team.
I hope those gray hairs aren't affecting your speed there.
Would have gained a few more there. So, with that, I think that's a good spot to take a break. As you all come to a obsidian wall, but it's not like the cave walls you've seen. It's more smoothed out, as if perhaps Hafnar, of course, you're a stone dude, as if perhaps this is the base of the tower. So you're up against the base of the tower. That's where we will take our break, and then in the next half, probably enter. See you guys in 5 to 10 minutes. Welcome back. It's not picking up the roll 20. Welcome back, everybody, to La Song of Phandelver, here on the Swindler's Den, Twitch, and YouTube channels. Last we left off, the party narrowly avoided being covered by lava. As the lava flow shot past them, they continued down the tunnel until they reached a smooth obsidian wall in front of them. What would you all like to do?
Examine the wall.
Examine the wall. Hell yeah. Give me an investigation check.
Alrighty, and this is in disadvantage, so 16.
Okay. Anybody else examining the wall?
I'll take a look-see. 17.
Yeah, you, Hafnar. This whole tower was probably created by this dragon's breath, cooling. That's how hot, like, it was able to build a tower of obsidian via its breath. Both of you are, like, investigating the wall, and it doesn't seem to have any features in particular that stand out, but as you look up toward the ceiling, you do see something shine and kind of catch your eye. Not like the cave ceiling more, but not too far from the wall.
So, just so I understand the room. So we've come into like a cavern. In the center is the tower. Does the cave ceiling then like meet the tower, or does there still room around it?
Right. So you probably, in this area, it's not that open. What you've essentially hit like a dead end, but you probably have 10 feet on either side of wiggle room, left and right. The roof, the ceiling probably goes also like 10 feet up.
Okay. Can I try and squint at whatever the shiny bit is, just to see if I can get a better idea of what it might be? If it's the same gems or if it's something different?
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
Only a 5.
You see a shine, but you're not able to make out what it is. The shine, whatever it is, it's bigger than just one spot, but maybe it's just too dirty. Like, there seems to be something there, but you're not able to make out what it is.
Do one of you taller folks want to take a look at that little shiny bit up on the ceiling there? I can't quite get a good look at it.
It's just a glint on the ceiling.
Yeah, they just caught like a quick glimmer of something, like something that stands out from the rest of the cave.
How high up? Where is it?
It's about 10 feet above.
I will mage hand and try and wiggle it.
Okay, so you bring your mage hand up, and you kind of are able to grip something. And you give it a tug, and it makes like a little bit of a of a metal rumbling sound, like a shimmy. Probably a lot heftier sounding than that, but like more like a I guess. I don't know. As you rattle it.
Well, I don't think that I will be able to remove it, but it sounds like there is something more to this item.
How rough is the either the obsidian wall or the outer wall?
So the cave wall is rough and like unrefined, but this tower wall is like smooth, like it's been crafted.
All right. Shivrani is gonna try to see if she can gain a little bit of footing on the cave wall and see if she can climb up a few feet to get a better look.
Yeah, I'll kind of give her a boost
Okay.
so she can reach up a little bit higher.
So, you're gonna do an athletics normal because normally you'd have disadvantage, I think, or is that only on saving throws?
It's on checks.
Okay, then yeah, it would just be a normal roll.
All right, thank you.
Oh no. Okay, so
My armor's too heavy.
Hafnar gives you a boost up, and you try to kind of jump and grip onto a chunk of this obsidian. And when you do, you weren't expecting it to be so sharp. Obsidian is sharp like glass, and as you fail to get a grip, it slices open your hands, dealing...
Don't worry, last time I rolled a nat 1 in a volcano, I jumped into fucking lava.
That's true. 8 slashing damage.
Ow. She lands back on the ground. She's holding up her bleeding hand. Is like, well, that stings.
No.
Okay. I got a hammer. I got some pittons. I got some rope. Can I just makeshift some sort of a very rough ladder? Get one in, tie off the rope, stand on that one, hammer up another one so I can get up to that?
Yeah. I probably going to just be another athletics check,
Okay.
but a lower DC because it's a good plan. Yeah.
Ooh, 19.
So as Hafnar begins to hammer these pythons into the wall and step onto them, Sir Garrick just starts to take out some bandages and wrap Siobhan hands, and give you 8 lay on hands healing.
All right. Thank you. Much better.
You're welcome. Least I can do.
You're a good friend.
Hafnar, you get up to the shiny bit. What would you like to do?
Now that I'm up here, can I take a closer look at it since it definitely moves? And is it connected to some sort of mechanism behind the wall, or what's the situation up here?
Okay, so you feel around now you're up here. You notice that it was kind of hard to see because it's all covered in soot. You wipe off some of it, and it seems to be like a grate, like a metal grate.
Oh.
There's something on the other side of it. That's like a cloth fabric, which is kind of why you couldn't really see through it before.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fun. Okay. Now, can I try and lift it? If I push on it, will it move up into the base behind it, presumably?
You try to push up on it, and it seems really it can't go up.
Okay, then I'll
there's
try
something blocking
pulling
it.
down on it.
Try pulling down on it. Give me an athletics check. Oh, wow.
Natural
literally,
20.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I
Yeah.
don't think this is going to work that well. You grab onto the bars of it, and you try prying, and it's just not caving, and then you jump off the piton and yank, and poof, you fall 10 feet, and something lands on top of you along with this metal grate.
That was my exact plan. If that I was going to loop the rope through and just jump off of it. I'll take what's in this bundle of cloth that, like, as I'm getting up, just trying to look at what's inside of there.
As you try to get up, it's pretty heavy, and you have to roll it off of you. And you look down, and before you see a goblin. No longer alive.
Just one goblin?
Just one. Stiff from rigor mortis.
Is there
Why is
any
it
way
so
to determine the manner of death?
It's not super heavy, sorry.
Okay.
It's heavier than a cloth.
Okay, that's fine.
That would be interesting, though.
What's it look like it died from?
Roll me a medicine or investigation check.
Investigation's much better. I needed it. 15.
Okay. Kind of hard to say exactly. You do look, and there seems to be like a carving, incision sort of down the chest. And you look closer, and it looks like maybe part of it sutured up. It's really it's kind of tough to say the exact cause, but it's got some bumps and bruises and some incision marks along the chest.
I do wonder if there might be something inside.
If it has suture marks, so like if it was sewn up, that means someone put it down there. They cut it open for some reason and then stitched it back
It's
up.
also been dead for some time.
Right. Mage hand can hold 10 pounds, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Does anyone have a dagger that I might use? Never mind, I got a small knife. I'll mage hand my small knife, and I will prop the body up against the wall, and I will attempt, from a distance, cutting the stitches with the knife.
Interesting.
Just in case it's trapped.
Yeah, I feel like with enough time and focus, I won't make you roll a check to see if you can cut this thing. You cut open the sutures, and what do you do upon cutting it open?
I stick my mage hand in there and give a feel around.
Okay, you give a feel around in there. This is going to be roll me a medicine check with disadvantage, because you're using your mage hand to feel around, and I don't know how much sensation you're able to get in there.
Sure. 9.
What are you... describe what you're doing with your mage hand.
I'm attempting to feel if there is anything that should not be in a body inside this body. So I'm going to dip it in and then wriggle around in the chest cavity. Make sure organs are still there in the right places, more or less. And if there is anything that should not be in there, I want to know about it.
So I think what happens is you're moving your mage hand around in there, and you discover that it's really hard to figure out if there's organs missing using your mage hand.
Sure.
You hit some bumps and things, but you can't tell if it's squishy, if it's hard, really hard to get any sensation through a mage hand.
Right. Well, does anyone want to have a go apart from me?
Alright. Shavrani will tell Scales to go onto the ground and stay by Sir Garrick's, and she will step over with her short sword drawn, and she will stick her sword inside to kind of peel back the cavity to see if there's anything different about this goblin's anatomy.
Okay. Also, roll me a medicine check.
With disadvantage.
Hey!
6.
Oh, dude, for a second I saw the nat 20 and I got excited.
I know, but it's disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
It's so hard to maneuver this sword in such a way that you're like able to delicately move the skin and stuff, and you're just kind of struggling to use it the way you intended. You think you might have to get in there with your hands and really get in close.
She'll sigh, wick off the clotted, coagulated blood, and she'll keep her sword in one hand and just use her hand to pull away some of its rib cage, like literally yank some ribs out.
Okay, yeah, you rip some ribs out. You're just like peering into this thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Hands in this thing's chest, ripped open. You would pretty easily at this point notice that it seems to be a lot of organs missing. So perhaps that's part of the reason that Paladine was unable to find anything.
And since goblins are her favorite enemy, so she knows what they look like on the inside. So I was like, oh my. No wonder you can't feel anything, because there's parts missing.
See. Well, I can only assume that there are more, and I look up into the grate.
Roll perception.
Who knows what reason?
And also, what exactly is missing?
The heart, I'd say. You kind of rolled a bad medicine check, so I'll say you're able to really tell that there's a heart and at least a lung missing. But the rest is kind of hard to determine. You don't see anything up the chute, but you do see that it's a chute.
We could make our way up there instead of going the obvious way.
Just to double check, there's no visible entrance on this tower. We're just on like the backside of this tower that's completely smooth, correct?
Yeah, correct.
But it might be our only option to go up that chute.
Well, who wants to go first?
Again, clamor up there.
Right, I'll go behind him.
I'll go after it, Eric's.
What's the angle of this chute? Are we straight up and down?
Yeah, as you climb your makeshift ladder, you have to kind of hoist yourself in. It's trying to think of how this works. You'd probably be able to get in, and you have to press your arms against the side, and it goes straight up maybe 5 feet, but then it seems like it curves toward the wall. So you just have to get past this first 5 feet, and then you can kind of slow incline up and in.
Okay. And it seems to be going towards the tower?
Towards the tower.
Okay. Well, there is a short little bit, and we got to turn, then looks like it's straight into the tower. So I'll brace myself and start climbing over that first little bit.
Right. Garrick goes behind you.
Alright, Shivrani will clear off her hand and pick Scales back up. And we'll look over at Kalia and Paladine as would one of you care to go next?
After you.
I'll go.
Or him.
She'll follow after Paladine.
And then Kalia will go.
Right. All of you squeeze into this vent and slowly make your way. It's not perfect. It kind of, comes up at this angle, then you got to go straight up a little bit, and you really got to push against and wiggle your way. It's very claustrophobic until you get to a point where you're met with another grate.
Can I try and gently push on this one? Because presumably this is like a grate that you would pull down.
Yeah, you go ahead and you stick your hands up, and you're trying to figure out which way it goes, and you are able to just kind of like pop it up and shift it over.
Mm-hmm.
As you climb out, and all of you, one at a time, you start to climb out of this thing, pour out. You're in the inside of what appears to be the tower. Smooth obsidian walls all around you, sort of rougher floor that kind of slopes in a circular fashion down toward this drain you guys just crawled out of. Bring you over here. Do I even risk seeing if I can... Nah, fine. It's fine if you guys see everything. I don't want to risk hiding things. Again, didn't expect you guys to come in from this way. So you guys are in the north up here. You guys see. Before you see these, what would you call them? Like, not beds, but, I can't think of the correct word at the moment. Stretcher sort of things. That kind of all have not cots, kind of all have a tilt to them, and on each of the four corners is a sort of chains, shackles, as if it was used to hold people there. One of them actually you see has a dead orc laying on the table. To the right.
Oh, dissection tables.
Yeah. To the right of the orc, you can see a table that seems to have a bowl and some contraption on it. You also can make out these two large vials. They're like these glass chambers, I guess would be the right word. Probably each like 5 feet tall, standing up. Seem to be filled with like a dark red liquid. And other various knickknacks. There's some pots and some buckets around the room. What would you all like to do?
Is there a door in the south wall?
There is, yes.
Okay, just making sure. I mean, I want to go look at the contraption. It's very enticing.
Which contraption?
This contraption on the table.
On the table, okay. For the hell of it, roll me an investigation check.
Okay.
It's very easy to see what's there, but to figure out what purpose it might serve is a little harder. What you see is a white bowl that is stained with a red ichor. Above it is like a spigot, and you could like turn on almost like a faucet, like a big nozzle you could turn on that sits over the bucket.
So like is there a bucket up top and then like a spigot and then down into the bowl, or does the bowl have the spigot?
No, sorry. The spigot is like above the bowl. So
okay.
It would pour something into the bowl.
Okay. I'm not curious enough to turn the spigot yet. I'll then see if these two big tubes, like if there's any tubing or like piping that would go out from them, like seeing the spigot and then the two giant vats of liquid, seeing if they have any connection.
Yeah, you trace along the spigot. You can see it kind of. There's a point where it goes into the wall, and then you kind of can see. You look down and behind these tubes, and you do see it like this copper pipe come back out of the wall and at the base of this red vial. This vial filled with this red ooze thing.
Well, not really on mission. Do we want to see what the red goop is, or just keep going to the eggs?
Any intel we might be able to bring back home could be good.
All right. Very gently.
Yeah.
I do have my mage hand for that, by the way.
As you begin to loosen this, you watch the rest of you. Some bubbles start to come out of the one of the vials, and it slowly drains a little bit. How much are you letting come out as you start to see this red goop into the bowl?
Oh, I think like once one little like plop gets down into the bowl, I would close it.
Okay, so what we're gonna do? You go to reach to close the spigot, and this goo lurches toward you out of the bowl.
That's not what I want.
Oh no.
Here. Can I get a surprise attack on you?
Fine.
Is it pudding?
Pudding.
Is
No.
it jello?
It's not going to be good. I have a feeling about that.
Interesting. So it exhales. It kind of jumps toward you. Oh, this is so weird. This is a melee attack, but also it's a breath weapon. Or am I misreading that? I'm misreading it. Okay. So yeah, it lurches at you toward your face. No, it is breath. It's so confusing. Does a 15 hit?
It does not.
You like quick reaction time. Maybe you're a little spooked. Duck, and it past you and lands just shy of the drain over here behind you. Would you like to use your reaction to close off the spigot?
Yes, I'll like very quickly seeing that. I'll tighten the spigot.
Okay, so that will be your reaction. You have now one of these in the room, and I'm gonna. Luckily, you caught it in its small form. So, we're gonna go into initiative. Let me go ahead and get the turn order up so you guys click. Make sure you click your token.
I got 2 tokens. I'm gonna
reroll.
give myself the one by Garrick.
Okay, which one? They're both
one.
next to him. All right.
The one's right next to him. Yeah.
Oh.
Down here. Sweet. All right. Let me roll for this.
Good thing you got that reaction time, because you got spooked.
I know. It's just a little goop. You guys can handle it.
Okay. All right.
I'm now concerned because there's a corpse right there, and what if it uses the corpse?
So, this thing actually is going to go first, I think.
Oh
Jump
wow,
on.
squishy fast.
Ascending or descending? I always forget which one of these I have to click. Descending.
Descending.
Okay. So, it after missing you with that surprise attack, whips back around, and its like red oozy form is gonna go for another attack. It gets multi-attack, so it can make 2 attacks. You can place 1 attack with slime breath. It's so weird. It doesn't have like its own attack. That's why I'm a little confused.
It's spitting at him.
So I think the one, like, they put this attack into 2. So they have like a slime breath, but it's also supposed to be the melee attack. So I think it does like a melee attack and then it can do the slime breath. So that's the way we were going to play it, because this is not looking quite right. 9 is not going to hit you.
Nope.
And then it's going to go for its second attack, which is a 24.
The 24 will hit.
Okay. So that does 14 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And as it rakes out across you, you're left feeling this this bubbling, burning pain under your skin as you take an additional 15 acid damage. That's how I'm going to flavor this.
That's fine.
Or can you make a save? Roll me a dex save. Sorry, I've never used this thing before.
I think that's if it's the breath.
So I think I'll have
I
to
think
show
the
you.
acid damage is from the breath, and
That's-
the bludgeoning is its attack.
Yeah. The bludgeoning is attack, and then it gets the breath. I'm flavoring the acid, the breath, as just part of the attack, but like roll the dex save, and then we'll see if you like fight off the acid. It's very weird because they don't have the breath weapon and the attack in a separate attack.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense to me. So you would pass. So on a failed save, the creature takes. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage. Okay, cool. So it rakes across you, and this acid starts to set in. But you're like a resilient dwarf, so it really doesn't really affect you the way that you would think. That's its turn.
Now we all get to go and fucking.
Kalia.
So, she will use her cunning action to disengage and jump backwards, and then chuck the shuriken. Yeah, just chuck the shuriken. I get sneak attack because he's close. Hey, I crit still.
Damn. That's 24 and
37.
Did that make you too broken?
No.
Hell no.
I just have
Assassin
rogue.
rogues? Yes, they're
That's
rogues.
just what a rogue is.
Okay. Cool. This thing looks like it's at death's door. It was like pretty in its movements. It was pretty bubbly and like very
So bubbly
changing
and lively.
shapes quite a bit. But now it seemed to have started to slow down after that hit. Chevonry.
All right. Well, she is. Let's see here. All right, she's the furthest back. Yeah, she'll step forward and take out her sword and make a slice. 16.
Thanks, AC. Yes. Yeah, you're gonna hit this. How do you want to kill it?
All right, so I guess she'll take the sword, like roughly size comparison. Like you said, it was like just a drop, or did it expand in size when it attacked?
It's bigger than a drop. It's probably like 2 or 3 feet in height.
All right, so she's gonna take her sword, hit it, and then kind of turn her blade, carry it around, and smack it down the drain.
Nice. Yeah, you do exactly that. You kind of turn around and you kick it off of your blade, and as it kind of goes limp, the ooze starts to just seep through the grate and you hear the plopping and then the sliding of the goo. And it's dead.
Well, that was exciting. Are you all right?
Meh. Mostly all right. I can. I'll be good for a little bit. Good thing I didn't go with my first plan, or it was my second plan, which was to break open one of those tubes to see what was inside. Glad we went with the spigot first.
Right. What the hells was that thing?
Real goopy. It hit me, burned, and I'll like show some of the like acidy burns. Like, wasn't good, whatever it was.
There must be something to this. Perhaps we can look around the room. Find something.
Alright, well, Chevroni is gonna examine the dead orc on the table.
Okay, yeah, roll me a medicine check. Or investigation.
Medicine or investigation? I'm a little better at investigation, so at disadvantage. 10.
Oh, disadvantage is really ruining you today.
Yeah.
Well, I got exhausted from
I
the
know.
heat. So
That's
unless there's
crazy.
unless we take a does short rest take care of
Mhm.
exhaustion or just long rest?
Rest.
Yeah, we don't really have time for a long rest.
So
Well,
what you are able to
Chevroni would have 4 hours, but
you as you kind of pat this orc down and take a look at it, you do see more incision marks in relatively the same area as the goblin. That's easy to see. You would also like kind of hard to miss on its shoulder and kind of down its arm. You do see some scaling, some like red scales starting to form.
does she recognize the scaling as to the other being that was down in the lava pits?
Yeah, you're able to piece together that probably similar in some way.
She'll gingerly touch a scale. It's like they're this one was developing scales like the one down by the lava.
Some sort of experiment then.
Not good.
And to do this, you would have to remove some of the internal organs, such as the heart.
Not sure.
Unless they were testing to see if organs or if different organs would grow in, much like these scales are growing in.
I will turn to Garrick, and I will say, did any one of your intelligence gathering missions report anything of this?
Ooh, good question. Let me roll and see.
I keep hearing that thing on the soundtrack, and I'm like, is my cat meowing at me?
Yeah, it's creepy.
Your cat's
Nothing.
famous, don't you know?
Nothing quite like this, but there's been some reports of humanoid dragon-like beings, but mostly myth. Kenda folks
Right on.
say that they've seen one in the woods. Local legend.
Well, maybe it's not all legend anymore. How do you feel about this?
I'm not sure what to make of it. Perhaps, she's looking to create an army. Bigger army. Stronger.
Right. Where do you think the eggs would be in regards to this tower? And subsequently, how high up are we?
Not sure what level we'd be on, but perhaps wherever her treasure room is.
Right. Well, is there anything else to gather in this room?
Are there any like notebooks or notes or anything like that that we could just scoop up real quick?
Yeah, roll me a perception check. Anybody searching around the room for anything of interest?
Scene.
10, 14, 10.
What should I do? I guess I'll do it. Fine, because for you, Grizz. I'll do it.
Garrick is rolling so bad tonight, guys.
There you
21.
go.
So you guys all together, you're searching about the room, and you do find a some sort of log, like a journal or whatever. What would scientist notebook? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You look through some of the like jars, the pottery. It's like a reciprocal for like there's like grafted scales in one of them. You see organs in another. Yeah, that's probably the most important stuff that you see, I would think. Let me double check if I took any notes of anything else. No, it's it. Yeah, you find some like skin / scales, and a notebook and organs.
Would any of those organs contain a goblin heart?
It'd be really hard to figure out. You can,
Just at a glance, not digging through it.
you know what? You do see a smaller heart. There is a smaller heart in there.
All right. How fresh are these organs, or are they starting to kind of get grody?
It seems like they're mismatched. Some are fresher than others, I'd say.
Okay. Well, whoever is working in here, they may come back, so perhaps we should carry on?
Right.
Right.
You see, you look to the door on the back wall there, and there's on this side, there's a metal latch over, and you're just easily able to take it off, open the door. As you exit, you're greeted with this open room with these big pillars that have these like dragon heads carved at the top. To your right, there's a long table with what appears to be 3 eggs sitting on it. The back wall, there seems to be, what's the word? These dragon heads that are like actual dragon heads. What is it called when you stuff an animal?
Taxidermy?
Taxidermied dragon heads. There appears to be like a green one, a gold one, a silver, and a black one, that are all just nicely hung on the wall like some sort of trophies.
Is the green one familiar to Chivalry?
Yeah, so you think back and you recall when you found scales, the dragon was missing its head, so that would make sense. It would check out.
Oh dear. She's gonna look at her little guy Scales. Is he noticing the dragon head of its theoretical creator?
Oh god. You hear the saddest cries. They're much sadder
She's
than I do.
she's gonna take him into her arms and just kind of gently pat him, as like, and whisper in Draconic to him, I'm sorry.
Why do?
It's like,
Before... So go ahead.
yeah, it's like, it's sad. I'm sorry.
Sad.
Before I leave the room that I'm in, I'm going to grab that notebook of all
Yep.
this shit. So, inform me, the Platinum Platoon, is it just us, or is Garrick like the head of a wider...
There are a few more. There's a few more units of people, and they are part of the distraction force coming from Kendermore.
Okay, so I'll give the notebook over to him instead of me. And I will say, should we survive everything happening in the following day, I think your people will need to use this.
Right. This is going easier than expected. I think we'll be all right.
Well, we can only hope. And then I'll walk out.
Put that.
What are these 3 orbs on the table?
Those appear to be dragon eggs.
It can't be that easy.
Mm-mm.
You would think there would be some protection here.
Probably those heads.
If only sorcerers got detect magic.
Right, you're probably right. This thing's probably trapped. You are scout. Perhaps you could take a look, see if there's any wires or pressure plates.
Yes, she will take out, for safety measures, in case it's some kind of site-based thing, her potion of invisibility. Drink that up. And then go over to investigate these dragon heads and the table and the floor around it.
Okay, let me just...
These bastards have true sight.
So you go ahead, you down your invisibility potion. You all watch as Kalia vanishes, and she starts to sneak toward the eggs. How are you approaching this table, this situation?
Slowly. Well, she would be looking at the ground for any pressure plates as she walks up to the table, and she wants to check under the table before touching the eggs or anything to see if there's anything under the table, and then she'll move on to the heads.
Okay. So...
Deb is currently saying, your rogue friend's really strong. You should try and find her when you get your memory back, because I feel like she'd be a good addition to your little party there. Her in particular, she keeps killing things.
Perhaps we should. How does this work?
I don't know.
How would blind sight work with invisibility?
I think that doesn't work. I think it's I was trying to think of that earlier too.
It's just weird because technically would be there. So if it's echolocation, if a bat, right, was like echolocating, it would still bounce off of you.
A creature with blind sight can perceive its surroundings without relying on sight within a specific radius.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, so
creatures without eyes and creatures with echolocation or heightened senses can see things within that radius.
Roll me a perception check.
Oochie. 13.
Okay. So you're looking at the ground, and you don't see any pressure plates. You're looking kind of near the table. You're not making out anything out of the ordinary. What are the rest of you doing as Kalia approaches this table?
I would be keeping an eye on the dragon heads the entire time, assuming that if anything's going to go down, it's coming from them.
Okay. Roll me a perception.
I'm going to keep an ear out towards the stairs in case anything heard the fight coming up.
17.
Okay. So, Kalia, do you skirt around the table, or do you check out the eggs?
I skirt around the table first. Eggs are the last thing to look at. I want to make sure these heads are going to eat me.
So, Kalia skirts around the table, Hafnar, with your perception. You notice like a faint twitch of one of the dragon heads.
Oh no.
One of them's moving. Which one is it?
I'm gonna go ahead and say the black one.
The black one's moving. I don't know why, but it's moving.
Stop and start backing up.
Okay.
All right. That difficults things. Makes things more difficult.
Giovanni is gonna look around the room, see if the other walls, particularly by the staircases, see if there's possibly any anything out of the ordinary, like possibly a switch or even something that doesn't belong.
Yeah, roll me investigation.
All while still trying to keep her baby boy calm.
Our goal here is to retrieve the eggs, not destroy them, right?
Yeah.
Destroy the eggs.
Yeah.
Okay.
13.
Okay, 13. Yeah, you start to like feel around and try and figure stuff out. It's gonna take you a little bit to check out the whole area.
Yeah,
but...
she'll just slowly make her way around, keeping away from the dragon heads, but start walking nearby the stairs.
Yeah. So as Shivanri starts investigating the room, what are the rest of you thinking?
I would ask Kalia, do they look like eggs up close, or are these just full decoys? Are they just rocks?
Do they look like eggs up close?
What did you roll again?
13.
From just looking at them, yeah, they look like eggs. Dragon eggs.
Yes.
Okay. I have another stupid plan. I'm gonna voice it this time, because last time it could have gotten us killed. So, what if we just throw something at the eggs and see what happens? See if all the heads light up, or if the eggs break, they move. Trying to destroy them anyways.
An interesting plan, but it's clearly someone placed them there. As normally dragons would have a nest.
Like an attempt to move them from a distance. But I suspect destroying them would be easier and also would align more with our goals.
Right. It's true.
I'm going to move a little bit closer.
Okay.
I think I'd still feel safe, like, here.
Talia, where are you at? Because you're invisible, so it's like...
I'm gonna move right there as well.
Right here.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
And I'm like really gonna try like getting closer, and I may, if necessary, I'm willing to move another 5 feet forward. But really look at these and knowing, because I know stone carving and like gem cutting and things like that, are these organic or is this stone? Is it paper mache? I'm looking to see if these are just like carved egg-shaped rocks.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. From afar, roll me a perception check. Obviously, it's a little bit more challenging because you're not right up on them.
19.
19, that's pretty good. 1, 2, check. So you see they are not stone. That much is clear to you. You know stone. This is not stone. What you notice is this is living. You see the egg kind of like shake a little.
Mm-hmm. Are these like the size we expect them? How big are these? Like they're on a table.
Yeah, they're what you would assume to be dragon-sized eggs.
Okay.
Good for making omelets.
The one in the middle there's twitching a little bit, so they're alive. They're eggs of some sort. They look to be the right size for dragon eggs.
Then our objective is clear, no?
Yeah, simplifies things a bit.
Well, a coordinated attack. Let's throw them all out at once.
Right. Right, who's got range?
Shavrani pulls out her bow.
But you
Two
got
hand
a
axes.
spell. Right. On the count of 3 then. 1.
All right. She's gonna cast Hunter's Mark.
2.
I'm going to, before we do this, I'm going to go into a rage because I don't know what's going to happen and I'm real far forward.
Over here. 3. So you guys all fire off your shots.
Who is attacking right here? It's 2 of you, and then.
Oh, I figured you were too because you were ranged.
I can if you want. I didn't know if Kali was doing it because she's got the returning shuriken, but I'll throw off a firebolt if you need.
She's not throwing it.
Okay, I'll throw a firebolt.
Okay.
That one, baby.
So, Hafnar, you fire your hand. Or sorry, you don't fire. You throw your hand axe. Your hand axes at the. Which one are you aiming at?
I probably go for the one on the left or on the bottom. This one here.
On the left, you crack both into the side of this thing. It rolls off the table. The firebolt goes wide. The arrow zips through part of the. Which egg are you going for, Shivanri?
She's going for the one on the right at the top. Oh, right, I need to roll an extra d6 for that Hunter's Mark. There. So that's 10 piercing total.
So you hit that one. It does the same thing. It rolls off the table. You watch as the dragon heads begin to come to life. They start moving and... What?
As they're moving, did the ones that hit the ground, are they intact?
Yes.
She's going to run and slide and try and scoop one of them.
Okay, so we're gonna go into initiative again because there's a lot going on here.
Initiative.
Turns. Make sure you click on your tokens. Oh God.
Ooh.
Okay. Okay. So Kalia goes to slide. When you guys fire off all these shots, you watch the heads begin to move and react. Why is this not working for me? There it is. Let me roll for the heads. Okay. Cool. As these, you see all the various colors start to form in their mouth. The black one, you see a greenish glow come from the mouth. The silver one, a blue, the gold one, a red, the green one, another greenish glow, as these breath weapons just all unleash at once toward the platform of the eggs. I'm trying to figure out how this line will work. So I think Kalia will be in the green one. And I think the blue one. Oh, wait, no, hold on. You probably avoid the blue one. God, why is this so difficult? So you're probably going to take the fire and the acid, Kalia. So roll me a dex save. Okay, cool.
And then because of evasion, 0.
0. So, in an amazing feat, you watch as all these heads glow and burst out with their different elemental damages. Kalia, which nobody can see, slides under the table and avoids taking any of the damage. We're gonna go into initiative order. I'm gonna find some cool music because we've just been listening to this shit the whole time. But Siobhanri, what do you do as these heads go off? You do witness one of the egg that you shot at has now begun to wiggle a lot more.
All right, is it still within firing range of her?
Yes.
Well, actually, I guess in sight because of the table. Like, I don't know if the table is...
It probably has
a wall.
like a partial cover from you. So it's gonna.
So you
can
say
still
the egg
see
is
it.
like here?
Point again. Sorry, I was looking away. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Okay, and all right, Shivrani will move a bit forward till about here so that she could try to get a better sight on the egg, and she will fire it. Whoa. She will fire again.
Okay. Go for it.
Right. Well, shit, wrong one. Ignore that.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
You fire again, the direction of this egg, and you miss. As the arrow clangs off of the obsidian floor, and bounces toward one of the dragon heads.
Alright. She'll fire one more time.
Again,
Dang it.
a miss.
Roll's just on it tonight, bro.
No.
Are you doing anything else with your turn?
All right, she will just tell Scales to do not engage,
Okay.
and that's it.
So, Paladine,
Yes.
what do you do?
Question
Mhm.
for you. So we know these are Melistrix's eggs, right?
You
That's
assume.
what you assume.
And what color dragon is she?
Red.
This is red dragon. Got you. Okay. So, yeah, I'm gonna run up. Just double check the range on this. Oh, it's not good range at all. Yeah, none of these are good range. Okay, I'm gonna run up in front to right about here, I think. To
Okay.
the point where I can get the table and just beyond the table in range. And I will cast Burning Hands towards them, and I will expend however many sorcery points I need to do. 1 sorcery point to change the damage type to, let's do, lightning.
Yeah, absolutely. All this lightning begins to crackle from your fingertips. What are they? A dex save, correct?
Yes. And it's just level 1 spell.
The 27. So, at this point, as your fingers crackle with this energy, it's now that you see these things aren't eggs. I know you guys probably knew. But instead, you see kind of pop out these... this egg form kind of collapses and turns into like a almost caterpillar-looking thing. And they start crawling around and avoid the lightning.
Yeah.
Well, partially, right? Because they take partial damage.
Yeah, they should still take half, I think, is how running as well.
All right, so they take 7 because round it up, right?
Round it down, so 6.
Oh, it's your turn.
Unless you round up, in which case, you round up, Grace, I don't care. And then I'll move... I don't know how much to move forward. I'll move 10 feet back. To get out of the way as much as possible.
Copy that.
And that's my turn.
Cool. It is now Kalia's turn. Kalia, you're under this table, and you watch the 2 eggs that you were going for transform into these caterpillar forms.
She will use cunning action to disengage and 15, 20, wait, what? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's all she will do.
Okay.
None of us see her.
Is now Hafnar's turn.
I've used up all of my range stuff, and I got little legs, and I can't run very far.
Oops.
Ugh. These are just little caterpillars, though. This is at the end, so I don't want to like go gung ho, unless it is the end. I am going to just move up to here. Is that based off of like where the breath weapons hit? Will I get hit by anything there?
Let me... I think you would be okay. These aren't like... I'm trying to remember exactly where you were, like here. Yeah, I think you'll be okay there. They don't work like normal dragon heads. Are a lot weaker in their range and damage. So I think you would just be okay right there.
Okay. And then I will ready in action to just absolutely smash one of these things if they get within range.
Okay. So you're ready in action. You run up with your hammer, getting ready to swing as you watch all of these egg hunters start to skitter toward your group, you can get your attack on this one as it scurries up your way. That. Boom. Yeah, there it goes. This one starts going toward Paladine, and this one also goes toward Paladine.
It was sure.
Yeah, that absolutely hits as you just crack down. Actually, just one hits, yep. As you crack down on it. For 9 damage.
Yeah. Kind of poo-poo.
Okay. It's going to attack back on you with its barbed attack. Let's see. Takes 2.
Both of those will hit.
And the egg hunter regains hit point. Oh no. So it's, you notice that the egg like its rear end, it's sort of what expanded into like this egg form, you assume, and it starts to kind of heal up a little bit.
Holy crikey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Paladine, the 2 by you are going to do the same.
I mean, some of
Bring
that
it.
used, right?
24 and a nat 1.
Well, 24 hits.
Okay.
As the one is going towards Paladine, and Hafnar just felt what was done to him, I am going to invoke my Cloud Ruin, which I'll throw it in the chat, but essentially I'm going to make that one attack the other one that's right next to it. So the same attack roll goes against the other creature, and then does whatever it does.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so run that by me one more time. Who takes what damage?
The one that was going to hit Paladine with the 24 or whatever,
Okay.
that attack is now redirected towards the one that rolled
Yeah,
the natural 1.
Got it.
Beautiful.
Cool. That's awesome. So it takes the 6 plus 8.
And it regains hit points equal to the necrotic damage dealt.
Well,
Beautiful.
one of them is looking like bloodied now. In quotes. It's more like a green blood, but yeah. The second one, the one that looks pretty damaged, instead of attacking directly, what it does, it starts to release these spores into the air. You watch the butt sack expand, and this kind of dust starts to fill the air. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw, Paladine.
Damn, boy, he's thick.
Oh no. Yeah, these spores start to fill your lungs. You are poisoned. Let me just roll it in chat.
Great. Awesome.
30-foot radius. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
that gets everyone, bro.
That gets
Oh, no.
everyone. You all have to roll me a Constitution
aura.
save.
I get the aura bonus.
You do get the aura bonus.
Constitution.
Yep. Everybody roll Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, nat 20.
Ah, that's not good.
That all it does is just poisons you.
Paralyzed.
Yeah, poisons you guys.
Oh, hang on. And is my green dragon, is he poison or is he acid?
I think green dragons are acid, aren't they?
Yeah, green dragons are acid.
Okay.
No, green dragons are poison.
Green
Are they?
Black
Poison?
dragons are
It's
acid.
acid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
then I'm immune.
you're immune.
Oh, I have resistance. Excuse me.
So I
Yeah. You just have resistance to poison damage. You aren't
damage. Yeah,
immune
not-
to the
not-
condition.
right.
Yeah. So I'm resistant to the damage, but my little buddy's immune. He's immune.
You all get poisoned, besides your little buddy. He's fine. Which, by the way, where did his token go? Oh, it's over here. That would be why. For some reason, I can't move him. This is splendid.
He's on a different layer.
He is on a different layer.
Poison.
All right, cool. So, oh yeah, anybody who made it, you're fine, right?
Yes.
So, sorry, Chivalry, it's your go.
All right. Well, she's gonna cough a little bit because of the spores, because you. And yeah, she's gonna go forward to this worm here. She's gonna pull out her sword and strike at it.
Okay.
19 to hit.
12. You're poisoned.
12.
All right, dang.
Poison
does-
means you have disadvantage on attack and ability checks.
12 does not hit.
Okay. She'll swing again. 11.
Yeah, no, you're not. These things are very nimble. Surprisingly nimble. And hard to hit. Paladine.
She's gonna.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
you
she's
still have the
gonna.
rest of
She's
your
just gonna grit her teeth and just go. Mayhaps we should disengage. And that would be it.
turn. Right, we could run. I don't know if they'll give chase, though.
Does the captain have a turn?
You make a fair point. I do this all the time.
I was wondering if he had turns in previous fights, but we end them really quick, so it didn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter on the earlier ones. Let me roll him into this initiative. He wouldn't have gone yet anyways. You're good.
No.
Well, he technically would have gone right before Chivalry then.
Did we already go all the way through the order?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Copy that. Okay, I'll give him a turn.
Just a couple of us.
So, Sir Garrick is going to run up to defend Paladine. And is going to take his... Oh, sorry. He's going to actually stay a little bit further away. Take his glaive and jab it into this beast. Yes, and you know what? He's going to smite. You all watch as this silvery glow emanates from his weapon. And strangely enough, like a small aura around Paladine, like bursts from him and into his weapon and explodes on this this beast.
Idiot.
Smite, where the hell? I guess I'm doing Thunderous Smite because he doesn't have regular Smite for some reason.
Your smite is different dice.
Yeah, it's d8s instead of.
You have to roll 2 d8s.
I need the drag Smite into the Divine Smite. I mean, into the thing, into his character sheet. For some reason, it's not in there. The character sheets are all weird. Roll20's just been weird for me recently. Okay. Divine Smite. Here we go. Work. Just go into the thing, please.
Probably have to choose what level you're smiting at. Probably got to
It's-
pop up.
It's not even on his character sheet, Divine Smite, and I keep trying to drag it in, and Roll20 refuses to accept it. So
Base is 2d6, isn't it?
it's
2d8.
2d8,
2d8.
and then
I'm gonna
if
roll
you're
it.
gonna burn a higher level, then you burn a higher level.
Just gonna do a regular. So 7. Okay. I hate when things don't work. Minus. His regular attack was no. Okay. You watch as this one, with the divine energy, erupts inside of it, and just goo, like the gooey mess of it, lands on Siobhan Ree's feet. Up next is Paladine.
Okay. I can only use an action or a bonus action because of the way the thingy works. So I think what I am going to do is I'll use an action to green flame blade and that same action swing
Okay.
down. So I'm just reading the cantrip here. Damage equal 1d8 fire damage. So it's
Do a weapon
2d8?
attack like normal.
Right, and then I think it's additional 2d8, but I don't know. The weapon attack is... Never mind.
It would have been cool,
It
unfortunately.
would have been lit, dude.
You miss.
Oh well. Yep,
Uh,
and then I can't do shit else, so that's my turn.
Talia.
My Taco is not running then. She'll back up and throw her shuriken so the invisibility's gone now. I have to hit the one in
Shoot,
front of Palimpsest. 27 to hit.
Yeah.
26 damage.
Okay. Massive blow.
That's all I got, baby.
Okay. So,
Oh wait,
half
bonus action hide.
bonus action hide. There you go. I think you're gonna be okay. Hafnar.
Okay. How are these two looking?
They're both okay, but like, not quite bloody, not quite half health, but
Okay. I'm just going to take a step in this direction, so I'm within 5 feet of Paladina, because I remembered one of my things. And then I am going to... Yeah, I'm a barbarian. Reckless attack, the one that's diagonal from me, just to smoosh it.
yeah.
So that's only 17.
Awesome. Okay. It's looking bad, that particular one.
Then I'll do my second reckless on it again. 26 for 14 damage.
As you just bring down this hammer and smush it, you lift your hammer back up, and all that goo strings from the floor to your hammer.
And then I'll use my bonus action to second wind to get a little bit of health back. Ooh,
Awesome.
that's good.
This last
That'll be
one.
my turn then.
This last one goes. It sees you move toward the other one and starts swinging, focusing at it, finding its opportunity to come at you with some attacks. It's gonna pounce at your back. For 22.
Oh,
and
I meant to
8.
be attacking this one. Sorry.
Oh,
It doesn't really matter.
I think either
I
way,
can kill.
this one was also dead. So I think
Okay.
this one's dead then, and this one's alive.
Okay.
So what was same situation though? It lunges, seeing an opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Those will hit.
So you take that damage.
Yeah.
And this thing is looking healthy again.
You can't be looking good at this point, huh?
I'm doing okay because I also remembered I'm a barbarian and I'm a bear barbarian, so I take half damage from
Right.
everything.
Ooh.
So not as bad as I could be.
The best kind of barbarian.
So I'm at about half health now after the healing of last round. A little under half.
I remember what I forgot to do. Remember when I was like, oh, I forgot to do something, but I can't remember what. Was give you all, or not all of you, but some of you potions. So sorry.
Um,
Oops.
Ah,
Whoops.
Yeah, Siobhanri, it's your go.
Siobhanri is going to step forward again. Not even bothered to kick off the ichor that's now on her shoes. And she will swipe at this stupid thing. 15?
Misses.
Blank.
And,
Oh no, it wouldn't matter. Never mind.
and another swing. And misses.
Misses. Unfortunate.
Alright, and then she will ask Scales to ready his breath.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Doesn't he go on your turn at the same initiative as you?
But he will only attack if I order him to, and if I don't order him to do anything, his default is just to dodge.
Right. So you've just ordered him to breath weapon?
I ordered him to ready his breath, which means that I'm readying to use his reaction.
Okay. What's your parameters for, like, when is he gonna shoot it off?
It says when another creature the Drake can see within 30 feet hits a target with a weapon attack, the Drake infuses the strike with its essence.
Cool. So just keep that in mind, because I'll forget. So just
No
remind me. Sir Garrick kind of moves behind Paladine and starts thrusting his glaive down at the little worm egg hunter thing. See if he can't do some damage.
Damn damage.
So, boom. Yes. Okay. Why is he doing so much pitiful damage, though?
Alright, and with that, Scales will breathe like towards the glaive tip so that a 1d6 of poison damage will be added.
Okay, so an additional 3.
Oh, wait a minute. Are these things resistant to poison? Since they caused poison?
That is something you're not too sure on. Unless, you would have to use like a turn, some sort of action to dig deeper into that.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So does he get 2 attacks? He's a level. Let's see.
He should.
He should, yeah.
So he's gonna go again. Shit, but he fucks up. Oh, I found the Divine Smite finally. Okay. That's his turn. Hold on, no. Isn't he gonna attack with the butt end? Because I think I gave him
Polearm Master.
Polearm Master. So he's gonna use his bonus action to attack with the butt end. It doesn't do that full damage. It doesn't do that radiant either.
10 bludgeoning because it's the butt end.
Right. I just don't think that he gets his proficiency or something, if I recall. I'll read into it. But yeah, that connects as he brings back down his back end of his glaive, and it hooks into the back of this thing. It is now Paladine's turn.
So you get to repeat the saving throw for the poison at the end of each of your turns. Should I do that for end of last turn?
Oh.
Sure. Yep.
Con save.
I
I'm not
forgot
so
about
good at
that too.
these. 25.
Cool.
Okay, so now I have my bonus back, which doesn't technically matter because I'm still got a green flame blade, but it's not at disadvantage. Just a straight roll. Fuck,
Dude, what is happening? Is
What
that like
the
your
shit?
4th nat 1?
I don't
Who
know.
rolls that one's like a monster, dude.
I'm only good with like my own characters that I made. I can't play other people's characters, Grizz.
Alright.
Oh, you roll nat ones in Tomb of
You're Jeb
or-
wearing a suit.
Kalia.
Yeah, that's it.
Polearm Master, by the way, it's just that the damage is a D4.
Oh, it's a D4. Got it. Okay. That's...
From hiding shield, chuck her shuriken so it has advantage. Yeehaw! 19 for 26 damage.
That hits. Okay, how do you want to do this?
She chucks it in an arc over the top of everybody, and it just digs down in as it spirals and then disappears and back into her hand.
Oh, sweet. And the situation is currently done.
Woo!
All right. May I please roll a couple of Constitution saves since I
Yes.
forgot to.
You guys,
I totally forgot about that.
I think it would wear off. If you would be making a save every minute, it eventually would wear off. So we'll assume it's worn off.
Shake it off. Okay. Thank you.
All right. So, in the space of time, how can you guys keep going, or do you guys want to stop and pick up at a later date?
I don't have much time left. I could do another 5-10 minutes ish.
Okay.
If you want to go that long.
So we'll kind of do a little bit of fast forward, sort of, not really. But what do you got? We'll get to a good ending spot. But we'll wrap up and we'll have to pick up another time. As you guys defeat these egg monsters with these heads on the wall, what do you guys do?
Not my current concern. These poor dragons can stay on the wall and we can deal with that later.
Ronnie is gonna kind of stubbornly step on one and kind of squish it under her heel a little bit more. It's like, well, these are frustrating.
Little shits. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh, I've heard worse. From you.
I suspect the real eggs should be higher up in the tower, perhaps.
I believe so.
This could be a good place
I
to
agree.
decoy.
So, Sir Garrick begins to lead you all up the stairs that you see on the bottom here. You start to climb. It spirals up and up and up until you come out to an opening, another floor. On this floor, you're greeted with... we'll say that you're not out here yet. You peek around, and this floor is filled with kobolds and some dragon-like humans. To the left, a giant dragon skeleton lays in a pile of gold and precious gems. Two kobolds are also seen bathing in the coin. Dead ahead lies 4 eggs in this this runic circle that's glowing. 5 different points of 5 different bowls with green flames spouting out. You look closely that direction and you see a faint shimmer of something surrounding this area over the eggs. And that's where we'll stop this episode, as it's gone on very long. Apologies. Thank you guys so much for playing. Thank you, Phage, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Will you be
Ton of fun.
joining next week?
I don't know if we're going to go right into it next week or not. We'll talk about that after the stream to figure out what times and everything everybody's good for. But this will be continued at a later date to see what happens with this group of adventurers. Yeah. So, signing out, Equa, where can people find you?
Oh, here on this channel, on today. Yep.
Phage.
You can normally find me on this Wednesday, where I do rhyme, and then on Twitter at Little Growth.
Woo! And thanks again for joining us and taking over half an hour. I just kind of threw this on him very last minute, everybody, so definitely go leave him a comment and let him know that he did great. BakaZombie, who is fighting through infectious disease at the moment, who powered through this episode.
A slight moment where I thought it wasn't going to go great, but we made it.
Yeah, so where can people find you?
Downtown at the bar is party. No,
There you go. How you got the infectious diseases.
Yeah, at ZombieBach on Twitter. Also, I DM Rhyme on Wednesdays, so I'm going to try and kill him again this week.
Woo!
That's every week.
And of course, last but not least, Nyssa.
Hey everyone, you can also find me on Twitter for @ZeldaNerd1988. I tend to just repost and like a lot of D&D related things, and also cats and bunnies if you're into cute things, but I'm primarily here with these lovely folks of Swindler's Den.
Oh. And I've been Grizlocke. You can find me, of course, on YouTube at Grizlocke, and here Sundays, Mondays, and Wednesdays. And I hope to see you all in the next one. Until then, let's keep making stories together. Bye.